Hey guys, so I know it's been a while since I've made a video. We've just been really busy with the kids after school with sports and everything else, so that should be slowing down here a little bit. So I should be able to put some more videos out. But we're gonna start with NVIDIA here. This is just one of the most insane gap ups I think I've ever seen. I mean, this is gonna be, let's see, if it was to open at the current 382.40 price from here, well, I guess you would actually take it from this right here. This would be what, a 70-ish, almost 70-ish dollar gap up, $75 gap up. That's just absolutely insane to me. That's wild. Just show, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is all-time highs right here, and we're just gonna gap up. I mean, this is the definition of just insane. I mean, look at this. This is all the way back in 2019. Rockets up, peaks, dumped, and then boom. We're just gonna put a new top in. Absolutely insane to me, but we'll see what happens with the markets tomorrow. So, all right, going over to SPY here. So, yesterday I did swing some calls. I was expecting more of a double bottom bounce off of this. I was pretty bullish, and it would appear that I was just bullish one day too early. So, what we're seeing here is we have a really nice bullish reversal abandoned baby candle here, which basically means we gap down. And then, generally speaking, we usually gap up with that, which as of right now, we're just sitting about 413. So, either way, though, we usually see a reversal to the upside. This right here is about the best description of an abandoned baby bullish reversal that you can have, and this is basically what we're repeating here. See, we came down, lost it, did a nice reversal candle, and then popped up. And right now we are possibly going to get the same exact scenario here where we gap up over the gap down. So that'll be very interesting to watch. We did, if you zoom out here, break through this black rising wedge, and we broke through the red short-term rising wedge too. So now we're just watching this blue bear channel right here with resistance tomorrow is going to be right there at 415.5. So if we break through that, then that's pretty much confirmed that this was just a nice V bottom bounce. And then we're going to start targeting really that 420 range again. Going over to futures here, same sort of scenario here. We broke through the black and red support lines. We're in the blue bear channel. So one interesting thing I'm seeing happen here is we did have the classic morning doji star reversal right here, which would make you see upside movement here. But what actually happened is we had such a large gap or large move up on those NVIDIA. I think at one point we're up like 0.7% after hours, that we basically, you see we closed our candle here at 41.50. We opened at 41.57, which was also our high. And since then we have sold off almost 10 points now. So what's really interesting here is we're actually kind of putting in a 41.95 double top, which also is a rejection off the daily AEMA. So something really surprising could happen here, and I'm seeing it happen on SPY, is that despite NVIDIA being up 25-28% after hours, we could actually see the rest of the market look weak still. So some of tech was up pre-market, or sorry, after hours. And it'll be interesting to see what the rest of tech does pre-market tomorrow. But one scenario that we could have here is after coming down reversing, we could immediately double top off this 41.59, which then brings us back down into this 41.28 area. So interesting enough at futures, and I need to add my supply and demand onto this chart, and I'll do that this weekend. But at 41.28 right here, we do have a daily demand, which is a support. So you can see we nicely bounced off that. From there, if we lose that, the next major demand we have is 40.74. I also have 40.95 as a major price action support. So we're coming into a really strong, about 20 point area, this 40.75 to 40.95, that I would expect us to bounce off of. So I will be very interested to see what happens tomorrow. In the off chance that the data in the morning isn't received well by the markets, or just in general, if markets continue to sell off despite what happened with NVIDIA, we really could see a double top here, which would actually lead to continuation tomorrow. So that'll be really interesting to watch play out. One thing that does make me slightly bullish, and is one reason that I actually considered overnight calls, obviously it looks like I should have done it, but I did not do it, is the fact that we came up and we tried to touch this top here from May 4th of the VIX, which was 20.1. So we attempted to break through it. We rejected that. And then you see we closed under that high. So this looks like to me a possible cup and handle, which I'll retrace back to this 18 area here. So basically, if you look back to pretty much March 28th, which if you look at the markets, March 28th was all the way back down here in the 395 area. Since that time period, realistically, 20.6 has been major resistance. But if you look at all these wicks off this area, this 20.1 area is also a major resistance level for the VIX. With this rejection here, you would assume the VIX is going to move back to its pretty much mean reversion at 17.1, which should then push SPY higher. However, if we get a breakout tomorrow on the VIX again, most likely would have to have something to do with the debt ceiling. Then you could possibly start to look at a bigger sell-off on SPY. Now, looking at the 10-year, we are still moving up in this nice bull channel. The dollar's doing the same thing, moving up. Bitcoin, though, Bitcoin still looks pretty weak. Now, it's really interesting that I mentioned this pretty much, I think it was right around here, back in May, or early May, was that Bitcoin was not really biting on the rally. Bitcoin was looking very weak. And you can see, after consolidating, we moved up, kind of tried to go back out, and now we're consolidating again. So Bitcoin actually, despite what's happening with NVIDIA and everything else, is actually looking very extreme. With this double top right here of 27.2 and potentially closing, this would be tonight's candle, below 26.7K, realistically, we start finally coming into that 25K target that I've been looking for since really back about here, early May. Now, the weakness on Bitcoin is intriguing to me, as that it is not holding the strength that we see SPY having. Now, a lot of times we will see Bitcoin lead the sell-offs, and that would also be led by tech. So tomorrow will be really interesting and realistically watching to see how these weekly candles play out. As you see right now on SPY weekly, we have a really nice double top, and then we're attempting to bearishly engulf. This would be a very clear-cut top on SPY, and we would look for a sell-off. Same thing here on futures. We are actually putting in pretty much an inside a week here, weekly body candle. But if we can get futures to close under 41.32, then realistically that would be a bearish top, and we could see a push to 40.95 and maybe back down to this area. These supply and demands are old. I need to update those. I just haven't had time yet. But overall, definitely interesting to see what happens here and to see how the rest of this week plays out. All right, hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.